continuing on with how different emotions feels to me. Hopefully this will give you a stepping stone to start seeing how it feels to you. So we're going to talk about the psychic vampire. The psychic vampire is somebody who has decided that um, they're low on energy, so they're going to take it from you. Now, it's not like, I'm going to go drain energy from somebody. Um, Pretty sure 90 something percent of the time, it's not a conscious decision. One way you can tell that someone is a psychic vampire is they tell you, I feel so much better when I'm around you or when I talk to you. And you notice that when you are around them or when you talk to them, you're exhausted afterwards. I mean, wiped out. And that's because they like stuck a little straw in you, like sucking up your energy. Thank you very much. I feel great now. Now, again, majority percent of the time, it's not a conscious thing. Um, they have discovered that there are people that make them feel really good when they're around them, as opposed to pulling down source energy, pulling in source energy, and taking care of it themselves instead of depleting someone else. So over time, I had discovered that when I cut off the access to my energy to these psychic vampires, they got really angry with me and they didn't know why. It was like flipping a switch. When I talked to them, my energy was not available for them to partake of. I beefed up my shields and I told my energy, no, nobody's allowed to siphon from me. And so those that were became very angry. And they usually had nothing more to do with me because they were no longer getting anything from me. I was still me. I was still talking the same way. I was still reacting the same way. I just cut off their energetic supply. So rather than taking a look at why are they angry at me or conversing with me about that, and I would have told them why and would have shown them or walked them through how to pull energy in themselves. Nope, you're just cut off. That's it. Okay. So that's a psychic vampire. Now let's take a look at the needy person. When I encounter a needy person, whether it's they're needy towards me or I see them needy towards someone else, I see tentacles coming off of that person and wrapping around someone else. So let's say somebody's needy to me. They will have these little tentacles, and this is how I visualize it. They have tentacles that are latched onto or wrapped around me. And again, they'll kind of pull energy, not as much as a psychic vampire. But this is usually, for me, my interpretation, an indication that they're in fear and they don't know how to navigate. Um, mm, they don't know how to navigate their job or the group of friends or life in general. And so they glom onto, attach themselves to energetically to someone that they feel is confident or has self-esteem, that they're strong enough to carry the load of two. Again, these are not necessarily conscious thoughts, conscious actions, but they're happening nonetheless. So for me, when I see somebody that's a very needy person and has these tentacles that are wrapped or attached to someone else, it tells me that this needy person has very low self-esteem and self-confidence. I have worked with some people in the past that were very needy and did latch on to me. And once I taught them as much as they were able to absorb from me, however long, I removed the tentacles. Now, the tentacles were removed anytime that we were separated. But as soon as we got back together, they would try to wrap the tentacles around again. But once it was energetically deemed that we're done, there's nothing else that I can teach this person right now, cut off. And 98% of the time, I'm terrible with numbers, so I'm just throwing some percentages out. They come into their own. Yay. All right, one more. I'm playing with the cord. It's my ADHD. Gotta move. Mental hostage of your energy. This usually is indicative of a aggressor trying to take control of their victim, whether it's mental, physical, spiritual, or emotional. And what happens is the aggressor will tap into their victim to try to maintain control so that they're not exposed. And in my mind's eye, I often see this as a collar around somebody's throat, usually a woman. Not always. Men are on the receiving end sometimes too. So I see it as a collar with a leash. And the collar is around the throat. So that is saying, I don't want you to talk about. And the leash is, I am going to control you. This is something that really chaps my hide. So there's been a lot of clients over the years that come to see me that I find this on them. And I will have a frank conversation with them, asking about any mistreatments or misuse of their being from a loved one, so to speak, whether it's a parent or a significant other or a partner. And one or two things will happen. One could be they break down and confess. Yes, I'm in this relationship that's horrid and I don't know what to do about it. I feel trapped. Or complete denial. And that's when I get that denial energy. Don't know what you're talking about. Pulling away, not me. And I learned you can't help somebody that's not ready to be helped. Doesn't stop me from trying. Okay, so we've done psychic vampire, the needy, and the mental hostage. See you in the next video.